The following podcast has been rated R. You've been warned. Welcome to the greatest DC Legends podcast in human history. Well, okay, maybe not, but stick around anyway because we're about to have some fun. You know me, I'm the AAD. And along with the All-Stars, we'll talk DCL, superheroes, comic book lore, and everything else in between. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Atlantis After Dark.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of AAD Snippets. Today, WB drops a new trailer. Is it good? Does it get you excited, revved up, and ready to go for this year? We'll talk about some DCL content, dive into a little bit of the Siege characters and what people are using today. Then we'll finish off with some DC TV shows that are out there today. What's your favorite? What do you think's happening? Some ins and outs of the shows. And today, my co-hosts are Biff, the Sportsmaster and Evasion Team Badass. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing excellent. And next up is Sekju, the Tapjoy and Raid Master. How you doing, guy?
I'm doing pretty good. I might have to find something else to be good at, though, because I'm running out of Tapjoy offers I can use that are useful. That's a problem. I couldn't even complete my most recent one. That's embarrassing, is the Tapjoy Master.
Must have been really tough then, man.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. But I'm happy to be here on a Sunday afternoon with you gentlemen. Hope you're having a good day, too.
All right. Thank you. Glad you're here, buddy. And last but not least, Wally Ball, our Flex Master and Team Strategist. How's it going, big guy?
Hey, good morning. It's pretty good. Doing pretty good. Glad to be here. Ready to get this thing started.
All right. Wonderful.
And Stripe Master.
Stripe Master.
Stripe Master, that's
exactly.
right.
You know what? Let me add that.
one of two known RB5 stripes in the DCL world.
DCL universe.
Yes.
Yep, there we go. All right, guys. So let's talk about this trailer a little bit. WB drops this new World Needs Heroes trailer that encompasses all the new shows that are new movies, I should say, that are coming out. I'm excited because one of my favorite characters of all time, Dr. Fate's going to be in there. And I mean, they pretty much kept his outfit comic book accurate. I'm very happy with what I saw on the preview. I think the way Pierce Bronson is portraying Kent Nelson, I mean, very spot on. I mean, so far, we only saw a snippet, but from what I saw, I'm very happy with the character. What do you have to say about it so far, Sekju?
Oh, I'm very excited by it. I know we had a little bit of a discussion in the Alliance server about The Rock being just The Rock as Black Adam, but I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, it's kind of what you would expect, I think. And one thing I caught in that trailer that I thought was interesting was he says the line, "My son dreamt of a better world. That's why he saved me." And it kind of set me off on like an investigation to, well, who's Black Adam's son? Like, what's he talking about? So I don't know if that's necessarily him, like what they're referencing. But it was just interesting to me because immediately I'm like, okay, well, what's he talking about? Because every version of Black Adam I know, it was the wizard Shazam that imprisoned him. So how did his son save him? And I'll be curious to see what that is when that movie comes out.
I believe that is a reference to when he was a slave.
Okay.
And his son, I guess, stepped in or something to try and protect his dad because he lost his wife and son as a slave. And I think that's what he's referencing as.
But aren't there several different versions of Black Adam's history?
Yes,
in the most recent one, he was like an advisor to Ramesses.
There's quite a different amount.
Yeah, if you look at that trailer, like there's that one little scene where you have The Rock who's like being held down. He looks like he's a slave, and then you have that guard or whatever with a big ass knife thing that's coming down. And that's when I think that's kind of referencing that when he was a slave, his son stepped in. Maybe his wife also died in the process too. Because they're kind of setting up him as a anti-hero and been through a whole lot of crap. So maybe that's it.
It sounded like Dr. Fate was trying to recruit him. Like
Yeah,
when
it
Pierce
did.
Brosnan's talking to him, he says something about like there's a wide world out there and it's waiting for you.
I think he is, but I mean, Black Adam's such a loner. We'll see if it actually works out.
So what I'm wondering, I mean, could this be like a Godzilla King Kong type movie to where we have the big bad characters, you know, these awesome teams against each other, but there's this bigger threat that comes out. They have to team up because it seems like you just said, Sekju, they were talking to each other and they were just like having a conversation, like not like they were enemies. He was just like, you know, like fight the evil in this world. And then you also had the little snippet with Hawkman as well, where he's talking to Hawkman about his son. So he's having these conversations with each, Justice League Society character in there. And I'm like wondering if there's supposed to be a movie where they're fighting him this whole time or trying to take him down, why are all these different little clips of him just talking to individual members and not fighting? So that's what I'm wondering, if there might just be this other big bad out there we don't know about, then they all team up to take him down.
I bet you there will be, because I know I see, you know, them trying to recruit him like early in the movie, and then something's going to happen to where, you know, it's not going to happen, and like you said, a big bad is going to show up, and you know, maybe they might work together briefly to take down the big bad, but in the end, Black Adam's going to do his own thing. Oh
yeah. And I also wanted to throw out there, I like the little snippet we saw of Aquaman in a stealth suit and in his king suit as well on the throne. Those look pretty cool. Any other things that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, the Hawkman, like when he unfurled his wings and everything, I was a big fan of that rendition for live action of the character. I mean, thinking back to other previous live action Hawkmen, they've kind of been disappointing. Smallville almost kind of had it. The characterization that actor gave, I thought, was good, but the look with like a full body plate armor versus his traditional battle harness just didn't look like Hawkman. And I'm not even going to talk about the weird leather getup that Hawkman from Legends of Tomorrow was wearing in season 1. So I'm hoping that with Aldous Hodge as the actor, he does a better job than those two, and his acting can match the look, because I think the look is solid.
Look great.
It was top notch. It really, really was. It really surpassed my expectations of like how in my mind I was envisioning Hawkman to look, and it looked way better. I'm really happy with that look, and I hope they, you know, incorporate the whole thing with the nth metal, where, you know, he can absorb Black Adam's magic within that nth metal, so he can't hurt him as much when they battle, or if they battle, which I'm sure they will. But I hope they incorporate some of the stuff in, a little bit of his backstory. I hope they show a little bit of like where he came from. You know, I don't want to say stuff in case everybody knows where he came from. If they're on
they showed
ship.
His ship. You saw that little scene of a ship, right?
Yes.
I think they will dive into it a little.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, because there's so much that they can do and so much they can explore, but we're limited by, you know, screen time. So hopefully it'll all be good. And of course, you know, switch gears a little bit, the Batman that's coming out. I mean, it
was that Biff sign?
Yeah, that was Biff. Go ahead, Biff. Take it away, Biff. Go ahead.
just I don't know. The Riddler just it's just not right. It's, you know, it's just not right. You can't, I don't even know. Like someone said, like, it's like a Zodiac Riddler or something from the comics or whatever, but the Riddler is not whatever that thing is that's on there. And it also seems like even the Catwoman, I don't even think the costume from the trailers I've seen, it looks all that great. You know, there have been so many amazing Catwoman costumes. You figure they could do a little better, but my main thing is the Riddler. And that, like, I want Frank Gorshin, I want Jim Carrey, I want, you know, that type of Riddler. I want. Right. I think the only dark Riddler that I ever saw that worked for me, at least, and you know, and I'm pretty easygoing on these things. Like I don't have too big expectations in WB productions, so I generally go in very low, and so I'm not that disappointed. But I like the Riddler in Gotham. He was he was
Yeah.
a darker version of the Riddler, and I think he pulled it off. But
Mhm.
whatever that Zodiac, whatever they're trying to accomplish there, that's not the Riddler to me.
I mean, you mean from the look, or because I mean, I don't know. With all these movies, like I know people get very passionate about characters they love and want to see them a certain way, but I always want to like actually see the portrayal before I pass judgment. So we're talking more about the look, right?
Sure, yeah, because I mean,
Okay.
I don't want my I don't want my Riddler to look like Scarecrow. Like I don't like I just don't think that's the same character. I think this is, especially in me, I'm probably jaded by growing up with, you know, Batman 66 and kind of the cartoony,
Well, the characters were more colorful in
the
this
cartoony
series. Yeah.
version of these villains.
Right. Well,
You
like
know.
like I said in the past couple episodes, when I first saw the preview before they announced that it was the Riddler, I thought it was Hush, because
So did I.
Yeah.
a lot of
Apparently,
people
so
did.
did the animators that made that movie that made the Riddler into Hush. So
I guess, yeah, that could be it. All right.
I wish they told whoever came up with that idea to hush during the production meeting.
yeah.
Well, hopefully it turns out good. All right, let's
Oh, and
go-
by the way, for the
Yeah.
what you brought up earlier about as far as The Rock, you know, like we did have this discussion on our server. Like, I don't know what people are looking for, because
Yeah.
a lot of people think like, well, The Rock, all I can see is The Rock when he's, you know, I can't see Black Adam because I'm seeing The Rock. Well, you know what? Like, The Rock is a perfect body type, I think a perfect look
Mhm.
for Black Adam. And the bottom line is, if you can't get past the WWE Rock and see someone else, then that's a you problem. Like, that's not a casting problem.
Yeah. No, I think
Um,
I think he looks the role like to a
Yeah.
T.
Yeah.
To a T. He is Black Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
And you have this big a star, people are going to complain because it's like, oh, well, The Rock does this, The Rock does that. Well, no, just give him a chance as the character, because I think from a looks and a casting perspective, it's phenomenal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, and by the way, you should be proud that WB can get a name like that.
I know, right?
Very
Yeah.
You know,
true.
listen, we just one-upped Marvel with fucking, you know, we took your Batista and we raised you a fucking
Rock.
multi-billionaire.
Very true, man. Very true. So
Speaking of looks, though, I'm sorry to interrupt, Retpmus.
Oh,
I just
go
wanted
ahead.
to mention the Flash suit, because there is some Flash content in that new
Yes.
trailer as well, and we really haven't mentioned them yet. I like the look of the suit with the highlighted lines and everything lighting up, and I kind of actually like the little goggles that kind of popped over his eyes in that one scene too. The one thing I'm not sure about is around the 15-second mark of the trailer, they use that same dopey looking shot of the Flash looking at the camera like he's staring at something puzzled, and that shot just looks terrible, and I'm not sure why they keep using it. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about?
yes, I do. Isn't it? It's probably where he's going to, like Wayne Manor or something like that, and is being viewed on the camera system by, I guess, Bruce in the background.
Hey, maybe it's just Ezra Miller's natural look, man.
That's fair. I should be less judgmental.
But you know, I think all the new shows overall are going to appeal to a good bit of people. Hopefully, you know, the Riddler turns out to be a good character. It's just not the Riddler that Biff and I grew up on. You know, we're used to the Batman 66 Riddler. We love the, you know, the fun aspect. You know, yeah, I might be a psycho, but you know, I have fun doing it type character, not this dark, withdrawn, you know, sociopath type character. So, you know, but you know, I don't mind that, because I don't want to see a carbon copy redone over and over and over. So, you know, if it's different, that's cool, you know, but you know, it's up in the air, just like with all shows. We can only speculate, and I'm just hoping they're all worth my ticket money, because I will be going to see them.
So will I. Absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
No,
definitely.
I'll see it. I mean, you got my money. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of, like, you know,
First
and
impressions
listen,
going in.
and I'm going to be a light. I'm going to be an easygoing judge. Let's put it that way. I'm on this panel. I'm probably the most easygoing to say, hey, listen, I'll enjoy a movie for what it is. Like, even Woody makes fun of me because I said, well, Birds of Prey wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. And she says it was.
She hasn't seen Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yeah, no. Well, but it's Halle Berry, so
Yeah,
I'll still watch it.
yeah.
Fine. How about Shaq Steele?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and use this as like a little bit of a segue into some DCL content. I know we want to cover a few things, but I thought real quick that we could go over and do a little bit of about first the Batman coming up. Like, what do you think we're going to get for the Batman month? Because they're going to do a Batman month when Batman comes out. Like new tunes, skins, reworks. I'll just pick one of those real quick, and then I'll let you guys take off on it. I'm thinking reworks. I'm thinking they might throw a rework for Penguin, since Penguin will be in there by Colin Farrell. I think we maybe get a rework with him. Riddler, I'm not too sure because it might be too soon for him, and he's pretty solid right now.
And he's solid.
Just had that rework, and it was a really good one too.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's a little too soon.
Riddler. I think Catwoman's a really good bet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Catwoman. What do you think for a new tune? Do you think we'll get yet another Batman, or do you think we'll get a skin for a previous Batman? What do you think, Biff?
I don't know if there'll be a new Batman. I don't know what Batman you're going to create. I mean, listen, I've put kits out there for, Adam West Batman, that I think is what I'd like to see, but that's not going to accompany this movie. I added a new mechanic to the game called Good Citizen Ups. And giving death immunity to your opponent so that you'd never kill them so they can be rehabilitated, and be brought back into a decent part of society. But no, I don't know what they're going to do for new characters. I don't know. I haven't seen any character in any of the trailers for the Batman that would tell me it's someone that's not already in the game.
Right. Unless it's a new Riddler. I mean,
give me that.
Yeah, I'm just that's why I'm scratching my head thinking like I thought maybe you guys might come up with something. I mean, I can think of new skins, and new reworks.
The only part of that makes me like happy is anytime they talk about like somebody getting a second or third or fourth version of themselves. As a Batman fan, I love it because I love the fact that the Superman people go fucking crazy.
Oh, you're right. I'll be one of those people.
Oh yeah, you got two Riddlers, but fucking one Superman. Like, oh god, that warms my cockles just thinking about that. But I could do that with Zodiac Riddler. Let's put that.
Yeah, I got you. I want a Kingdom Come Superman in the game, man.
Yes,
I really, really do. But it'll probably never happen. But anyway,
by the way, side note on Superman. I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but this is amazing. This is like a stealth fix that I think the devs did. Superman now misses on his basic. It's amazing. I'm so happy.
Well,
seen him. I have a counter going right now on a piece of paper. Superman has missed his basic on my Harley Quinn 13 consecutive times now. Since his rework, he missed 0 times. So I'm so excited.
Well, I know the game was just recently updated because they broke a few things. Yeah. Because when I was in Red Alerts, I like to play characters that I can't play in PvP. Like I like to use my Dr. Fate because he's one of my favorite characters of all time. And I like to play as Grundy because I just love that character. Yeah. And Grundy like attacks himself now on his third, instead of him taking off running and punching the ground and kicking and attacking an AoE. He'll stand right there and spot, or he'll take 2 steps and then jump backwards and just slam himself. I thought he was attacking his whole team. Yeah, there's a big glitch in it. If you get a chance, play as Grundy, do his AoE and watch it. It glitches. Is
the damage still inflicted on the enemy team, or is it totally screwed up? Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's still
it's a visual thing. It's kind of like Superboy's super wave heat vision blast thing.
They still haven't fixed that.
And Eradicator's second punch, it only goes halfway.
Yeah.
But I noticed that I was playing with Grundy, and I'm like, man, what is going on? Because I kept trying to choose. It wouldn't let me choose a character for his AoE. It just had arrow pointing on himself, and I'm like, well, was he going to attack himself? I was like, I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I went ahead and hit it. And he just took one step and then he just like instantly whooped backwards and started punching like right where the whole team was. It was funny.
That's pretty funny to see.
It's like the Superboy thing. It's the only place I even hear about that is here, because a lot of us use Superboy a lot, but like we can't even bring it up with all the bugs and stuff. Like I would feel bad like going to WB and saying, hey, do you realize there's a visual bug with Superboy and his heat vision? It's like there's so many other things to worry about. Like I wouldn't even bring it up.
I think I figured out what happened to DC Legends. DC Legends is a Unity game. And I think they were using an older version of Unity. And when they upgraded the Unity version, it broke their visual shader graphs where they go in and they create those special effects. And I really think that's what happened, because if you've noticed, like the moon up at the top that had like Necron's skull on it, it went and had like a black piece on it. The ground had black areas and certain things. Some effects didn't work, and those were all shader effects. So I think that is what happened, and maybe they just didn't realize when they did the upgrade that it broke some of the older stuff.
Hold on. I have to find my nerd alert.
Shut up. But anyway, I think that's what really happened, because they are shader effects. They're not like animation or graphic of effects that for animation or character design or level design. It's all the special effects that broke. But anyway,
either way, we can't complain about the visual problems, because there's actual kit problems.
Exactly.
That are bigger things to deal with.
Let's jump on to one more real quick, and then we'll dive into more DCL content. Let's go with like the Black Adam movie. I'm thinking for new tunes, it's pretty much obvious. We're going to get Atom Smasher and Cyclone. They're the two newest characters. I don't see any newer ones coming out. And I was also thinking, and I'm crossing my fingers, if anybody ever listens, please rework Dr. Fate. I will be eternally grateful. My guess is it's going to be Black Adam and Dr. Fate is what I'm thinking for rework. So what do you think, Wally?
Man, I'm hoping for a Black Adam rework. That'd be awesome, because I have him RB3.
He's power crept a good bit.
He is. Like, actually, his kit is. You don't really need to do a whole lot to his kit. Besides, improve his power. But once he makes a kill, he is pretty damn good. I don't know what.
You see, that's the reason why I don't think he's gonna get the rework, because he could use a bit of a power boost, but otherwise his kit is fine.
I think they'll capitalize. It's a Black Adam movie.
That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And since WB's so about the money, I think it's an easy thing to do for them to do a rework for him.
And he's still S tier in PvE.
Yeah,
he's one of the PvE kings of the game. I don't think there'll be any question that those are the two reworks accompanying that movie.
Now I would love to see a Hawkman skin based off the movie. Based off the movie, based off of what is it? Aldous Hodge, I think his name is. I would love to see it based off of that character we just saw in that preview. That would be fantastic if it looked like that.
I'm just worried that with all the other issues they've had with separate media skins, like the Red Sun skin, and we don't see the movie skins being as released as often. Like Cena, I think, is different, but that's how Peacemaker looks in the comics too. So you can kind of bridge that gap. But it doesn't seem like we've been getting the movie skins recently, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But I agree, I'd love to have that skin.
All right, so let's go. Let's talk about some twat teams, Biff.
What?
Go ahead. Like, what do we consider twat teams in Siege?
Yeah, so I think this has been the debate, and I think, and people asking, what is a twat team? When we refer to that, what does it even mean? I'd say, it really revolves around the use of non-bonus teams, the use of S tier non-bonus tunes. And by the way, it's not always the fault of the player. Like, I got in a little bit of habit of calling out on our server some, people on some Roman numeral based alliances. And they pointed out to me that, hey, listen, I didn't start that. Like, that was in retaliation of someone else's. So the way I look at Siege and how the teams evolve over the event is it's like the first person that hits their brakes on the highway. And all of a sudden now you have 4 miles of traffic. So there's one person out there that doesn't care and is just going to use their same 4 characters. There's one player in particular in the top 60. I don't know how he does it. Never uses a bonus character, uses the same 4 characters for every single match, or at least as far as we can see, because we've never came across any variation of his 4 characters. And then that forces somebody to use a twat team back. And then that person gets entered into the mix for your defensive. And then Wally sees one of my Martian Manhunter teams because I had to combat something stupid. So and by the way, I'm not asking for everyone to use 4 bonus every time. I'm not I don't spend energy on Siege. I don't buy energy on Siege. So I'm kind of in that meaty 80 to 180 range in every Siege. I'm bordering on 150, always top 210. But it's just, and in those, you see a lot less bonus than you see in the top 20, the top 30. But I think the twat team is really, if you want a definition of it, it's number of S tier characters that aren't bonus in your team. Mm-hmm. And if you have 0 bonus and 3 to 4 S tier, you're a twat. And that's it. Unless it's just because another twat started the ball rolling and you're just in complete total response to that.
Okay.
That's my theory.
So here's a good team for you, Biff. I was playing Siege today, and the team was Martian Manhunter, Black Flash, Impulse, and Spectre. That's the team I got in Siege today. And I was just like, good team.
Yeah, I mean, because once again, you have 0 bonus. The one thing I do like, though, and by the way, I'll give Wally credit here because Wally was the one that pointed it out to me, that those teams are still easily counterable by Batgirl teams. Like, and in this Siege, I can counter that with bonus tunes.
Yes,
I can do it. Now, I might only do 1, like what you just said. I might only do 1. I might do like Batgirl, Harley Quinn, Dove, and Spectre, because I'm going to put him in there just to make sure I can control things after shit goes down.
Right.
But I can get, like, I don't think there's been a match yet where I've had 0 bonus. I think I've pretty much been at least 1, most 2, some 3, and very little 4 this time, because of if I do get a chance to use a lot of bonus, I'm generally partnering them with Batgirl, partially because I have an RB5 Batgirl, but also because she helps the kits of a lot of, Siren, of Dove, of Jesse Quick. I've done a lot of Batgirl, Dove, Siren, and Harley Quick. Jesse Quick.
Gotcha. All right.
Harley Quick. That could be a new character.
Harley Quick, yeah.
Harley Quick.
Mixture of Harley Quinn and Jesse Quick.
Ooh, I like it. On the whole topic about twat teams and everything, I mean, the way I feel about it is, if you have spent so much time and so much money in the game, and you have all these characters at RB5 level, and you're using those characters, there's nothing wrong with it. They're in the game. You've worked on those characters to get them where they are. Why should you be called a twat because you use those characters? The only reason I feel that you should be called a twat is because if you're using those characters in Siege, you don't care about Siege in the first place. So that's why I would consider people doing that a twat, because you're making it harder on people that care about Siege, making it more difficult for them.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I mean, that sounds like a pretty accurate definition in general to me. Like, there's teams that I love using that I would consider a twat team that when I run into it in Siege, I'm like, oh god damn it. Like, my example would be and every single Siege board so far, I have had one person running Darkseid, Supergirl, Spectre, Terra, and that drives me insane. It's not a hard team to beat. But with the bonus tunes that we have right now, I just don't like my chances sometimes. So I don't have the Batgirl lead to take advantage of those extra evasion ups, which is killer.
I'll tell you what, I don't want my Batgirl lead if there's a Supergirl.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
somehow, some way, she shreds every single red evasion character.
I mean, it's a beatable team. You take all blues against it, but guess what? Like, I'm not really confident to even drop my Siren into an all blue lineup against those particular tunes. So it's like, okay, I know I'm going to get 12 points on this one, but it's annoying because I am trying to use the bonus. And even though I don't care that much about Powerhouse, I like the extra legendary essence from Siege. So, you know, it's frustrating, but I also love using that team in Wraith. So yeah, it's a twat team. I'm a twat sometimes in Wraith, but in Siege, it's annoying because again, you're trying to work in those bonus tunes.
Right.
I'm a twat on the can at 7 a.m. That's when I'm a twat.
Time?
No, I don't even auto. I just want to get through it. Gotcha. Like I wake up first thing in the morning. I got 9 energy and wrath, and I just say, let's just get through this. Let's get to my 27 energy for the day. And although I probably run back or lead maybe 60 to 75% of the time, I throw some Martian Man.
I ran into one of your toilet teams where you had Martian Manhunter lead.
Oh no, I run 3. If you find anything other than 3 leads for me, you've ran into something. Okay, so outside of my top 3, I run some Darkseid, I'll run some Cheetah, I'll run some Red Hood. But other than those 3 secondary ones, if you run into me, it's gonna be Batgirl, it's gonna be Martian Manhunter, it's gonna be Hal Jordan. And that's really the only 3 I run, and those secondary 3 once in a while. Or if you get an event like we're doing this weekend, you'll see Yara Floor as my lead in almost every single team because I'm just going full bonus and full alliance comp. And by the way, Yara Floor, highly underrated.
She's a beast.
She is blue. She is the blue Dr. Poison, and she doesn't get any credit for it.
True.
That's
very
your
true.
Biff tip of the day.
I think we were talking about that before Biff even joined us before
we
the show.
were. We were. Yes. So let's go over one more thing. Let's start with you, Wally. What team are you liking the most for this Siege that you're running most of all? Like what bonus teams are you using?
So for the Siege, I'm using a lot of since I have a ton of evasion characters, I'm using the Batgirl lead with Dove and Jesse Quick and Adam a lot. Of course, my last board was garbage, and I've had to deviate from that because there was a lot of twat teams that were like Darkseid and Aquaman leads and Martian Manhunters. Like I think I had 6 out of 10 were Martian Manhunters, and then the rest were Aquaman. So that was kind of a pain in the ass. But I've been getting about 2 to, on average, maybe 2 to sometimes 3, but mostly 2 bonus characters. And Jesse Quick and Adam actually have been essential because Spectre is still on every single team. And he's a great Spectre destroyer. So I'm still getting a lot of work with him.
All right. So what about you, Sekju?
I've been running, like when I get the opportunity, my favorite 3 bonus team that I've been running has been Zod, Jesse, Adam, and Dove. Zod makes taking care of Dove and Adam, even when they have their evasions, pretty easy. Jesse just helps get things speeded up and also adds some extra evades to the other ones so they can potentially dodge stuff, although my evade tunes never dodge anything, so that's why I need Batgirl. So long-term project. But anyway, I've been enjoying uses of those, but I have to say that Adam has been my most pleasant surprise as far as like somebody who's on almost every single team. I totally forgot about that 85% chance to gain 50% turn meter every time somebody buffs. So he's constantly getting turns, and he's always ramping that empowered strength up. So there's been a couple times even on offense where like defense I've regretted it because Adam just all of a sudden gets a turn and he punches my Adam and wipes him out. And I'm just like, oh, come on. So pleasant surprise for him. Great on defense, as Hate Mail was saying during the regular pod last week. But he's been a pleasant surprise for me on offense and is definitely a Spectre killer. Once he has just 2 of his empowered strength ups and he uses basic, he's going to pop Spectre under that awareness and bye-bye Spectre.
Yeah. I lost a Spectre to him and I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. But yeah, I think Adam has been a pleasant surprise. No doubt about it.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that, Biff? I know you said some of your characters before I asked them.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much it. Like I've been trying to get at least 2 in every match, but sometimes not. I'd be curious to hear what the rest of the group thinks about Jesse's evades. Mine seem to be working pretty good. But I know the community is saying they're not. I don't know if it's because she's under Batgirl on mine, or if it's Dove helping her in the early goings of some Siege matches, but I've had some good luck on Jesse evading so far. And by the way, love Jesse.
Yeah. So, she's awesome. But on that topic, Biff, though, so like when she first came out, I took her, L3 right off the bat and started working with her a lot. And she wasn't evading until about maybe like 3 days ago. She actually started evading most of the time.
When they did that quiet update, isn't it?
I think so. Because now she actually does work.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a great option, like for me to have another green that I can use. Now I actually have 2 greens and 2 blues evaders that are relevant, which gives me a lot more creativity and a lot more things to do. And actually, Retpmus, to go back to your point on twat teams, I don't fault anybody for using whatever team they want.
Right.
Like, to each their own. You do you like the team, but to me, and I'm speaking to one specific person in the game that we know uses the same 4 characters every time, is the game fun? Like, if you use the same comp every single time, I'd quit the game. I just quit the game. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly captain comp, and I'm not captain strategist. I'm not any of those things, but I do need at least a little variety in the game.
Right. Yeah, I definitely.
But that's me. To each their own.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. I mean, myself, my favorite team is running like Hal Jordan, Harley Quinn, Supergirl, and Spectre. They're all RB5 characters, but I love.
Yeah, I've run into that team before.
I dread the day I run into that team.
I love the team. I mean, I just love how each one has their own specific strengths. Where a lot of characters have to be helped, but like this team, each one empowers the other.
Right.
And that's why I like that team. I mean, it's not the most, undefeatable team. I mean, you could easily defeat them by choosing the right tunes. It's not like it's impossible, but to me, that's like my auto team. When I get up in the morning, I just hit the little button and then let it do its thing. And I'll go back. It says victory and I move on. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100% as well, Biff.
By the way, there are only 3 characters in the game, and 2 of them have to be together for me to actually look at a comp and say, oh, and that's Nightwing Terra combo and Supergirl with anybody else that's good. Because with my comps, like I can't just go to war with what I typically use in those scenarios.
I got the team. I should do RB5 Batgirl with RB5 Harley Quinn with RB5 Supergirl and RB5 Spectre.
Ugh.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
I'm trying to think how I would counter that because I've never seen an RBF5 Batgirl except for mine.
Right.
So I've never run across.
Maybe I should work on that just so I can do it.
Oh, that's. By the way, her shards are not exactly.
No, they're not.
They're not easy to come by.
Yeah. Now I'm hoping that they do a 6-day with Adam next month. That's who I'm kind of leaning toward RB5ing next.
I have 3 RB5s coming up.
Oh, cool. Who are they?
I've decided to pull the plug on
Batgirl
is my logo.
Oh, you're doing Cassie, aren't you?
I'm doing I'm doing Grodd and the ladies. I'm doing Gorilla Grodd will go to RB5, Cassie will go to RB5, and Harley Quinn will go to RB5, which will Grodd will be my logo for a short period of time, and then Cassie will overtake him because I figured I can still have a Batgirl as my logo.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess made it a little more palatable. But yeah, so I am going to RB5 with those 3 as my next 3. And it's taken me a long time, not because I was holding off doing RB5s, but because I was trying to keep Batgirl as my logo. But I really wanted to do Grodd. So then I was like, well, if I do Grodd, Batgirl's not my logo anymore. So now all bets are off. And I might as well do, because Batgirl and Harley Quinn are my 2 girls that I use an awful lot. So, and Harley Quinn she melts Spectre on RB4. Harley Quinn melts Spectre on 1 shot, and she generally gets 2. So RB5 will just take care of any RB5 Spectre. The second he misses his AOE, he's done. He kills himself.
Oh yeah.
My Harley Quinn sucks. I mean,
my Harley Quinn is so
I
good.
just wish mine would dodge anything.
This is what I don't understand. My Harley Quinn never gets hit ever.
Listen, mine is
today.
an RB5.
She had 2 evades. She had 2 evades, and an Arcus double tapped her and missed both times.
Yeah, and that happens to me when I'm on offense and I'm attacking a Harley Quinn with 2 evades. I still can't hit her, but my Harley Quinn could be with Dove and have a stack of evades as big as Cassandra Cain's. And sure enough, Black Flash hits his AOE on his 3rd, and then Spectre nukes her and she gets heal immunity and she doesn't hit either of them. And it happens every time. Every time. I've never had.
By the way,
for
evades, the best rebirth I've done recently was the jump between RB2 and RB3 Superboy. When I went RB3 Superboy, it changed the game because that little bump got him to the point where it's 2 attacks on Cassie and she's done. Okay. And it's so.
I have the shards for RB2 Superboy now that he's in red alerts.
Superboy is real. Like that is actually one of the teams I run a lot if I'm up against twat teams. Is Batgirl, Harley Quinn, Superboy, and Spectre. Okay. If I'm up against a Cassie twat team or something like that, like he is my can't miss
true
specialist.
Sight.
Yeah, true sight, and exactly. So I run him against the Martian Manhunter, Harley Quinn, Black Flash,
great against
Spectre
Nightwing teams, because I can get to whoever I want to get to.
I just love when his passive double punch triggers and you can stun Spectre and then all of a sudden he decides to punch one of those evaders or somebody else because he has the true sight, so he doesn't have to punch Spectre. You stun him and then you punch somebody else and you don't get hit with that response is always pretty nice.
Yeah. But Superboy's awesome.
Cool. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and close this out. We'll work on our last little bit here real quick. We'll just go over a couple of the current DC TV shows that are going on today. What do you have to enlighten us with, Sekju?
Well, I mean, is it fair to talk about the awesome red herring that was the first few episodes of Superman and Lois? Or are we cool talking about that character introduction?
I would say, I mean, it's what, 3 episodes? 3 episodes. It's been over a month.
Yeah. So, I mean, my opinion is that was awesome. They had the whole fan community guessing at Doomsday being revealed super early, which it sure looked like it was going to be Doomsday. And then all of a sudden we get treated to Bizarro. And I have to say, one of the better live action portrayals of Bizarro too, I thought. I thought it was really neat how they introduced it. I thought it was neat how he just pummels the crap out of Superman, and he just wrecked that military super team as well. And I mean, I was a little disappointed that happened off screen, not because I wanted to see people getting killed on screen, but I think it would have been fun to see Bizarro beat up some other super people a little bit before Superman came in to fight him. But in general, just that show has been knocking it out of the park, in my opinion, with just their storylines and the way that they pace everything. It doesn't feel slow. I'm never sitting through an episode bored, like, when am I going to get to the next fight scene or super scene? So I'm really enjoying that one. Like I said before, it's one of my favorites because Superman sucks as a dad, and it makes me feel like I'm awesome at it. So hooray. And then beyond that, though, I just feel like they're doing really good work with the characters. And I have an interesting tidbit to talk about later, but I'll let everyone share their opinions before I go into the boring lore stuff.
Right.
What episode is Bizarro in? Like what season, what episode, what?
Season 2, he's introduced
episode 3, I think.
Yeah, he's introduced in 3, and they have battle in 4, episode 4.
Okay, because I don't love my Superman, but I love my Legion of Doom.
Bizarro,
so, I do want to see a real
Bizarro
action
is fantastic
version of Bizarro.
He did Bizarro so well. I mean, Bizarro is messed up, right? So you can just see the way he portrays Bizarro, like glitching and stuff, like ticks and things like that.
Extra stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just done so well. I'm just like, this is how a Bizarro character should be on the live screen. It's done fantastic. And what I also like about Superman and Lois is that it really shows you what it is to be human. I mean, he's basically a god on Earth, but yet he's still vulnerable to being a dad, to being a husband, a family man. What he still has to go to, even though he has the ability to pretty much, lift the world on his shoulders, but how much weight just being a normal person can be on somebody. And I just think they portray that so well in that show. And that's one of the things, because you see, he's still vulnerable, just like we all are.
Yeah, the show kills it in that aspect, in all aspects, really. Like, it shows so well. It's so well done.
Yes.
Even the side characters are interesting. Like, the part B plot of Lana Lang pursuing ousting the existing mayor, like that whole side plot is still interesting. Like, I'm not sitting there waiting for that scene to be done. I'm intrigued by it. So normally that sort of thing in a show like this, I'd be like, I don't really care. It's just filling screen time, but it's intriguing. It's written well, and I'm curious to see where it goes.
Cool. You got anything you want to add, Wally, or do you have another show that you want to briefly talk upon?
Let's see. Well, I never got into anything Batwoman wise, so I don't know anything about that. I mean, I'm into Peacemaker right now, and I'm really actually Whitney's probably not going to like it, but I enjoy it a lot. I think it's hilarious. I love the show.
I like Peacemaker as well, but any show where, they're dropping the F-bomb like every other word for no reason at all, it kind of annoys me a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit overkill in that aspect, because you don't need to use it as much as it's done. And I understand it's the character, the way they are. But I mean, I just think it's just a tad too much. I'm not trying to be, Mr. Righteous or anything. It annoys me. Just a pet peeve.
Coming from the guy that brought up the topic of twat teams.
Yes.
Actually, another thing about Peacemaker, I think the greatest part of the whole show is Eagly. I freaking love that eagle.
Yes.
Eagly is awesome.
I agree. He is fantastic.
Eagly's pretty awesome, and I find Vigilante to be oddly entertaining too.
Oh, he is definitely.
Yeah, but I am enjoying it too. Whitty's going to yell at me in the chat, but I was at 50-50 after the first episode and some of the initial reviews, but since watching the rest of it, I'm on board and really hoping they get a season 2. So we'll see.
Oh, they'll get a season 2. It's getting really
it's
good
super
ratings.
Popular. Yeah.
So as one of the only people that watch Batgirl on the Planet, what do you have to say about that, Biff?
What's that? Batwoman?
Yeah, Batwoman. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I do watch Batwoman. I do. It's actually the only show after I gave up on Flash. I just had enough. It was just too much. It was like Okay, you guys should have taken this horse to the barn like 2 seasons ago. um, I won't say a lot about that. I just like all of the Batman references, basically the future state of Gotham City after Batman's gone, and just maybe not gone, but just not there anymore.
Biff, do they ever say why he's missing?
No, they just said I don't know. And I drink a lot, so I generally watch it at night. So it's not like I take every like detail.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think there was a Bruce Wayne sighting in one of the episodes or whatever where they talked about it, but it's really
he's off helping the Titans.
Yeah, kind of like Jace. It's just more like references to Lucius Fox's tenure and how Jace steps in. There's a really good character. God, why can't I come up with their name right now? One of the best villain characters I've ever seen in any superhero, anything. She plays the part so well. Is
it Alice?
Alice.
Yeah.
Alice the character is so perfect as just an absolute crazy person that just doesn't care. She's like a female Joker. And but the show does a really good job going back and forth from making her the craziest human being on the planet and also humanizing her, which is really interesting because she's this nutcase. But one of the reasons she's a nutcase is because she was the original Batwoman's sister and got lost at the beginning of the show in a car accident. They thought she died. She didn't. She got taken by somebody who abused her, sexually abused her, did all these things. So it screwed with her head. And she turned into this she just wanted revenge on everybody, not just her parents who she said stopped looking for her, who her father is the head of the Crows. Her twin sister was the first Batwoman. So it just goes back and forth between this Alice in Wonderland crazy supervillain to trying to understand her and why she became that and actually caring about her.
Interesting.
And actually hoping that she helps the Batwoman team in some of the later episodes because she's forced to based on being in Arkham, and the only way they'll let her out is if they help her help the Bat team get in the mind of Scarecrow and things along those lines. So there's just a lot of backstory Batman stuff that's interesting to me.
Okay, maybe I'll have to revisit
Poison Ivy. It's Batman caught Poison Ivy. Batman caught Scarecrow. Batman caught all these people, and Batman kept all of these trophies of each of them. And when Batwoman starts to be compromised a little bit, all those villains and their ancestors go back after those trophies. And when they get back after those trophies, they become more powerful. And it's a lot of Batman lore. That's kind of a trip down memory lane for me.
Okay, I got you.
And Alice is one of the best supervillains I've ever seen in any comic movie, story, TV series.
Right. So basically, it's you're a huge Batman fan, and it's kind of like filling that niche for you right now, since we don't have a Batman show like we have a Superman show.
Yeah, and by the way, I loved Gotham. So
gotcha.
once again,
Gotham was good.
Gotham was good. Gotham just told the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like to watch that with like my wife who doesn't like this stuff, but has watched all the Batman movies because she has to put up with them and everything like that. And has watched every episode of Batman 66 because we used to make a drinking game out of it.
Naturally.
Yeah, of course. Every time Biff comes up, she has to drink. Every time Kapow comes up, I have to drink. And I drink in between too, by the way. But it tells the story of how all of those came to be. That's why I like Gotham. And Batwoman's kind of like a trip down memory lane of going back to everything I have learned about the Batman series and the Batman character and looking at it from a futuristic state.
Okay, good deal. I'm definitely going to have to revisit that and give it a second chance. I pretty much watched close to all of the first season when Ruby Rose was in it. I probably missed the last 3 or 4 of the first season just because I got sidetracked and just never picked it back up. So I think I'll go back and revisit that.
Alice is a great character. She just really is.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I watched the first season too, the whole first season and the first 3 or 4 episodes of the second season. And I wasn't a huge fan of the first season. It was something to watch, and I'm going to watch all DC content that gets thrown at me for the most part. So, I agree with Biff that Alice was a compelling character. I really liked after Crisis on Infinite Earths, whenever they had the 2 Alices that they had to deal with, kind of. I thought that was an interesting storyline. But that's also the core reason why I don't like the new seasons. It annoys me that they introduced a whole new character to be Batwoman when they had the perfect opportunity to say, well, this is just a different multiversal version of Kate Kane. It did, like, she could have been, the same actress even. It was just Kate Kane from another universe. So, I feel like that was a really missed opportunity within the internal logic of the CW universe, and that kind of turned me off to the show a little bit, but I might have to give it another chance.
I think the new Batwoman was more of a play off Alice, because it's another hero / villain that had abandonment issues with their parents.
Okay.
So they tied in the second Batwoman to Alice because both of them had the same problem. Ultimately.
Yeah, I just didn't get that far to get to that point of the story because I was aggravated with it.
That's where they tied it in. Is the new Batwoman's parent abandoned her, and they introduced the mother later on. Yeah. And the mother's son actually becomes the Joker.
Yeah, I guess it was just maybe it was the convoluted.
Batwoman's brother becomes the Joker, like half brother, and it's a lot of family issues.
Yeah,
gotcha.
In Batwoman,
right? Well, I mean, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I mean, we could spend like a whole episode talking and dissecting shows. A couple other ones I wanted to throw up just real quick. I really like Titans that's going on. The Titans. I really enjoy that show. But I also wanted to say I didn't think I would like it, but I actually like Stargirl. I love that they brought in the JSA characters. We got to see a lot of the characters, that we normally don't get to see, except now. I mean, of course, with Black Adam, we're getting to see some of the characters, but they're not the true JSA characters. I love it that John Wesley Shipp got to portray the Flash in it. They're just like how he was on the TV show Flash. So we got to see the original '90s Flash in there. I thought that was really cool. It has Stripe in it. What do you think, Wally? You got anything to say?
See, no, I mean, like I've watched the first season and enjoyed it, and then once the second season came around, I never watched an episode of the second season yet. I know
it's good.
I just haven't gotten into it. I've been watching other things, so I was like, I need to catch up.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that's going on. I mean, so many shows. I mean, it's so hard to make time to watch all these shows.
Yeah. Well, season 2 is good if you get a chance, Wally. Like, I think you'd probably like it. I don't know how they don't have as much Stripe action as season 1, but it's a good season though. Like, and he still, has his roles and his moments in it, but there's not as much as there was in season 1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take it around real quick. If anything you missed or you wanted to bring up that we didn't get to cover, we'll go ahead. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. But since Sekju already has one, we'll start with Wally first.
Oh, wow. No, I just want to say I'm really excited about the movies coming up. I've always been a fan of DC, and I've always wanted DC to be what Marvel has done with the movies and all that. I know this isn't that, but I just want DC to do good in the movies. Like, come on, guys, let's do this. That's about it.
All right, Biff.
No, I think I got out my piece. I talked probably about 10 minutes longer on Batwoman than I thought I would.
That's nothing wrong with that.
Took me back to therapy as a kid when my parents were getting divorced. But no, Super Bowl Sunday, everyone just enjoy.
Look
I'm
for the
about to head out-
DC
head out to the
commercials.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to head out to the smoker to do some bacon wrapped barbecue meatballs and some scorpion pepper wings.
Wish I was there,
boy.
buddy.
You wish you weren't here tomorrow morning when I'm on the can using my twat teams.
Your wife might be gone too tomorrow morning.
But anyway,
All right, you're up, Sekju.
Well, when Biff was on the can using his twat teams, I was having epiphanies about Lois and Superman in their show. Just an interesting tidbit that I remembered was they, in the most recent episode, they introduced the quote unquote cult or self-help guru leader, whose name happens to be Allie Alston. She's the one currently manipulating Lucy Lane. And I didn't realize it at first, but Superman fans and longtime readers might recall back in 2004, Superman was dealing with a villain by the name of Ruin, who was later revealed to be Emil Hamilton. And he had kidnapped twins Alexandra and Alex, also last name Alston, who later became the Parasites. So I think there's a chance that we might get to see the Parasite introduced in the current live action setting. And all the more likely because Lois actually describes this cult leader as a parasite who leeches onto people at their lowest. They're her exact words from the show.
Ooh,
Good
So,
yeah.
maybe they're going to go with her. She gets exposed to X-kryptonite or whatever's in those mines. And that's, taking her down the old Smallville Freak of the Week path or something like that. But I think there's a chance we might get to see either Parasite this season or maybe they're setting it up for something in the future.
Yeah,
Nice.
very, very nice. I never even thought about putting that together, but now you bring that up. That's a great possibility. I'd love to see that happen.
It just feels like they introduced Bizarro so early in the season that he's not the primary antagonist. I feel like we're still waiting for a primary antagonist and it could end up being Parasite.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really curious of what's in that necklace of Bizarros as well. Because normally has the big number one, like the comic lore, Bizarro number one on this necklace that he would always wear, his chain necklace. But that's like a diamond shape with some type of mystic stuff going on there. So I'm kind of interested like what's behind that.
I thought for a second it might be blue kryptonite, but that should have affected Superman whenever he came into contact with it, and it didn't, or at least as far as I can tell, it didn't. So I'll be curious as well to see what that is going on with that.
Yes, same here, man. Same here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for another episode of AAD Snippets. For Biff, Sekju, Wally, and myself, I appreciate you all for tuning in and hope to see you soon.